You were going to tell us a story?
Yeah.
Go
It's
ahead.
called Polk County Redbird.
Yes, sir.
His name was Oscar Hawkins. And I worked with him. And he lived way back in the Polk County woods. You would have to cross the creek to get to his house.
On foot, you have to cross the creek?
You would have to go through a creek and go to his house.
Did you have to drive through it?
Back in the woods.
You drove through the creek?
When I met him, my mom took him under her wing.
She was a bird.
No, his handle was Polk County Redbird. And
Was he a CBer, I take it?
so I went to visit him one time. This guy, they didn't have a bathtub. They didn't have a toilet. They took a bath any way that they could, in a creek or wherever. I could still take you to the house. But anyway, me and my girlfriend, I said, well, let's go visit Oscar, see where he lives. And it was way back in Polk County Sticks, so he gave us directions to his house. So when we got there, we started going up this dirt road.
Mazda Park,
And
line 1,
and
please.
it took a right up this little hill, and it was way back in the woods, so we took right, so we got there. He had 2 sisters and a brother, and his mama and his daddy. So we went up, it was a cabin. We went up, knocked on the door. His mama answers the door. She cracks the door about that much. She says, who are you? And I told her I work for Oscar, and it's real weird. They had an outhouse where they took crap, stuff like that. And so they let me and Connie in. And his brother used a rope for a belt to keep his pants up. And he was standing in a corner sucking his thumb or rocking in the corner
How old was he?
like this, just a rocking. And he was sucking his thumb. And I thought, dang. And they didn't have TV. And his daddy would just sit there and stare at you. The whole family had 2 sisters. One of them, they didn't take a damn bath. They just washed off, went and got water at the creek, heated it up the best way that they could. And I thought it was weird, so it was something I've never seen before. So one of his sisters came out. She was wearing a big old long dress down to her ankles. Weirdest thing, jet black hair. Could have been a beautiful girl if she would have had
A bath.
the means, you know. So he introduced me to everybody. And so we didn't stay long. So we left, and then a week went by, and we said, let's go visit old Oscar again. So went up there. We picked him up. We took him to the fair. So I introduced him to my mom. And my mom sort of like took him under her wing. So my mom had bought him clothes, stuff like a blue jean shirt, all this stuff. So my mom ran the backwater for him. He didn't know how to take a bath. He wouldn't even let his butt touch the water. I said, Oscar, I said, you got to sit down in the water. So he said, I don't know how. And I said, Mom, Oscar don't know how to take a bath. And this guy was 30-something year old. So we had to show him how to do stuff.
But he
So
had a
I
handle.
set him up with this girl. He'd never been out with a girl in his life, you know. And so we took him to the fair. And I set him up with this girl. She said, Dean, are you joking me? I said, no, he's a good guy. So we put him on down Ferris wheel, you know. So he'd never been to a fair in his life, in his 30s. So he'd get up in that Ferris wheel, and as it would get to his top, he couldn't breathe. As that Ferris wheel would go around, he'd get to the top, he couldn't breathe.
What would he say?
He would panic every damn time he would get to the top. And he'd be okay as it's coming down. But when he got to the top, he stopped breathing.
How do you know?
I'm serious.
How do you know he stopped breathing?
He would stop breathing. So we had to get him to stop it and let him out. So he said, I ain't never getting on that thing no more. So as time went on, his dad died back in the woods in the house. They found him 3 or 4 damn days later in his bedroom. Didn't even know he was dead.
Yeah.
So the ambulance come up there and got him, medic stuff, went up there and got him out, all this stuff. And he was stinking. They didn't even know he was dead. They thought he was asleep. And I'm telling you the truth. This is how bad they were. And they all went berserk. You know, just squalling. You know, we took up money for them, all this stuff. And they had a car. Oscar was the only one that had a dang car. And they would take it back and forth to the Piggly Wiggly, I guess, what it was, Polk. And my mom, she really liked old Oscar and his family. They'd stop by him and his dad say hi, whatever. And one day he went home from work, and his brakes were squeaking on his car. He said, I need to change them dang brakes, and he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know how to do mechanic work, so he jacked the car up. And he put block bricks under it, and he had the front end jacked up, and he had his body under the car, right where the brakes, where you put the brakes on, and he was dead up and under it. And the jack popped out from under it, and it fell, crushed the bricks, and crushed him. It crushed him so bad, they said it busted his heart, and his body had made a big imprint in the ground. And so they said it was about a day or two before they found him.
Hey, Dean.
And then called the dang ambulance. It's the weirdest thing I'd ever seen.
Dean.
Okay, end of story.